there probably is an opportunity to trade into the top of the draft. And I think for both of you guys, like, do you see the Raptors as a team that should be trying to move in that direction? Which, ironically, they could have just kind of did it anyway if they tanked. But, still.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some people making that point. We were making jokes about it, and, jokes always supersede facts. But, like, they would have been hard-pressed to tank to the extent that Portland did down the stretch.
Yeah.
Unless they were willing to, like, move Siakam or shut him down for the season. Like, I don't think they would have had the kind of, post-deadline drought that the Blazers intentionally had. I don't think they would have been able to.
They would have had to lose 8 more games or win 8 less games and finish behind 8 additional teams than they did. I'm not saying it was impossible to do that, but it's just easier said than done.
Yeah. Now, they could have had like a top 10 pick, and ultimately that still would have been better than having the 13th pick, but they made the decision that they made. We don't have to relitigate it. At this point, I think they should be open to anything. I think, part of what frustrated me about the decision they made at the deadline was I don't think it's that they totally took this option off of the table. Like, I think if there's a deal there where they have a chance to maybe trade with Portland and get that number 3 pick and reorient their timeline a bit, they should still be very open to that.
Mm-hmm.
But they made it more difficult by trading their pick next year with a very light protection, so that, and I know like people are saying next year's draft class is super weak, but still, like, a top 6 protection on that pick makes it kind of hard to go into next season being like, oh, okay, now we're starting the rebuild.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you got to make sure you're really bad, like bad enough to stay, in the top 6 in lottery odds. So
and the only way to guarantee that you get a top 6 pick is by
be one of the 3 worst teams.
One of the 2 worst teams.
Oh, wow.
The 3rd worst team still has a chance to get the 7th pick.
Yeah.
So,
and to put that in perspective, so the Portland Trailblazers, who obviously they tanked, but some of the players on this roster, this should be like who he played for, or maybe who he played for previously, because there's a lot of guys on this list I do not remember. John Butler. You guys know John Butler?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Just another NBA executive / NBA player. Chance Comanche.
That's not a real person.
That's a real person. I'm telling you.
Did I pronounce his name right?
No, I don't think I did. But Chance, all right, Chance came off the bench. Jonathan Williams, that was one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah, Jonathan.
I did actually message Wolfond one night towards the end of the season, being like, bro, some guy named Jonathan Williams played for the Blazers tonight. And that is not to disparage someone's name who their parents gave them. It's more so just to be like,
jeans for a name.
It's more so just to be like, this is the state of the Blazers season and how bad they're tanking. Someone named Jonathan Williams logged minutes for them tonight. I think started for them one game.
Oh, no, he started like lots of games for them. By the way, I'm looking at their box score from Game 82, where they lost 157 to 101 to the Golden State Warriors. 157
to this point. And I know you had talked about like the Raps, and whether this is kind of like the path they should go down. You look at Portland's roster.
That's what you have to do to get to that top 6 pick.
And also, though, but if you look at the roster and like if you're actually talking about, say, like the Raptors trying to trade with them and put someone on the like, okay, obviously if Portland's trading the 3 pick, it's to build around Dame, right?
Yeah,
so Dame's off the table.
Yeah.
And then it's like they're not trading that pick and Sharp unless they're getting like a legit star. It's like they're not doing it for anyone on the Raptors. So then it's like, okay, how is Portland even building a package with that pick to also match salary with someone like a Siakam? Because it's like, do the Raptors really want to take on the final 3 years and $54 million of Nurk's deal? I don't think so.
No.
Do the Blazers put Simons on the table? Is that what it is? It would have to be like Simons and that pick. And also, they would have to probably wait till after the draft and after they sign the guy who's going to go number 3, because then the salary would be about like $8 million. You combine it with Simons, that brings you to about 30. You can make that deal for Siakam. But if it's not Simons, and the Raptors obviously don't want Nurk, and it's not Dame, then it's like, how are they getting there? Like, then their next biggest contract after those guys is Nasir Little at like $6.5 a year. Solid young player on a really good deal, but that doesn't get you to the contract, like the salary matching perspective to get one of the Raps' big guys. So I agree with the idea, and I think everything should be on the table for the Raptors. But it's one of those like easier said than done things. Like, sure. Siakam for the number 3 pick, you definitely think about it. But how does Portland get there in a way that actually satisfies the Raptors? I don't know.
Well, I mean, it may not be the Raptors, but if you are a team that is willing to trade an established star for the number 3 pick in the draft, I think you're just willing to take back the Nurkic contract as the cost of doing business. And you're saying,
maybe you could reroute it, I guess.
yeah, reroute it, or like we're thinking long term anyway. What does it really matter? We'll eat the money and we get the number 3 pick. Like, I mean, obviously, if I were in that situation, I'd be pushing for Simons instead.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know. I think that might be a bridge too far for Portland, depending on what they're getting. But if we're throwing hypotheticals around, like let's say it's Pascal for Simons and number 3, I'm very interested in that as the Raptors.
For sure.
Am I interested in that as the Blazers? I'm not sure. Honestly, if I was the Blazers, I wouldn't really be interested in trading number 3 anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'd be looking probably to go in the other direction, but they're in the position they're in. They're beholden to Dame in the way that they're beholden to Dame, and so I don't know. Maybe there's an opportunity there.